Okay, I'm going to try to emulate a show that I've seen on television. It's called Garden Answers, and it features this young lady, and her family owns a nursery, and she gets all these plants. They're proven winners. They're nice plants, and she gets them all probably for free. And it shows her renovating her different garden beds at her house and at her parents' house, and I just get a big kick out of her. Her yellow cat follows her all around, and her little boy Benjamin helps her sometimes. But anyway, so I'm going to try and do this and show you what my garden looks like. Now this is a new project of mine. I painted the mudroom floor black. You see, I had to put this runner in there because it shows every little thing. But it looks nice, and I ordered that mat with the bee on it. So we're going to go on outside, and I'm going to show you. Now, she has her husband videoing her, so, you know, it shows her racing around doing different things. But mine isn't going to do that. I have to hold it. So, first of all, let's get back out here so I can look back at the house. It looks so pretty these days because, you know, it's springtime and everything looks great. Now, this bed right here in the front, the dog likes to get and dig in there. So what I did is I planted a bunch of container plants in there so that he couldn't dig up all this bishop's weed. It used to be a solid bishop's weed. So isn't it pretty? All my different petunias that I planted in there. I did those. And then I put this trellis here on the side of the garage with this beautiful clematis on it. And I'm going to make a pergola, like a half a pergola, to go over the front of this garage. I think that would look really nice and have this clematis growing up it. Anyway, so I'm just going to scan around here and show you how pretty everything looks right now. It's almost June, a couple days till June, so it's my favorite month. And I'll probably replant that container plant there under the window with some trailing stuff. Oh, and look, and there's Liv home from the gym. Well, yeah, or for somebody. Oh, and I want to show this. I got these new containers this year. They're black, and they're modern, they said. You know, I like old-fashioned stuff, but isn't that pretty? Oh, God, it's starting to rain. Anyway, I planted that with sweet potato plant and those petunias. There's one of my cats, a little bit. So on over here. Oh, and there's all the hostas. They look good. And my containers up there. And Jim's been to the Tractor Supply and gotten some lights. He's going to put those somewhere, I guess. And these are the other two planters I got. Now, I know I like to plant things in groupings of 3, but I needed one over there to hide that downspout. So aren't those pretty? And there's the porch swing with one of my other cats. Oh, and there's the wreath I got for the door. I ordered that from Front Gate. Wayfair. Isn't that pretty? It's fake, but it looks good. And then Melissa got me for Mother's Day this jasmine. Yeah, a jasmine. It's looking a little pathetic now, but I moved it over here in the shade. I didn't realize that they like shade, so it'll come back. And then here's the side garden. I just got myself a new oak leaf hydrangea right there, and I planted that because there was well, you can see the old rhododendron there looks pretty pathetic, but I didn't have the heart to just cut it off. So the other ones were gorgeous this year, the other rhododendrons. They're pretty much done right now, but, you know, they're huge against the side of the house. I mean, Mom, I planted those things, well, I've been here 30 years, so maybe 25 years ago when I got around to that. And look at these ferns. Aren't they lush? But, of course, it rains almost every day nowadays, so everything is pretty lush. And there's how the bishop weed took over the backyard. But I like that flower bed. And these are my hydrangeas coming up here. There, I've got the lace cap hydrangeas, and then the regular ones, the big blue ones, Nico blue, I think they're called. And there's the back of the house. Still about the same. And then this last, early in the spring, Jim and I cut back all of my huge shrubs that I had because they were really way too big. You couldn't even see past the house. So we cut them all back, and they all came back, but of course they're not going to bloom this year, probably. Like these are all hydrangea in different forms, like trees and shrubs, and the climbing hydrangea there, that went clear over the garage. It was huge, and now it's smaller, but it's okay. it'll come back. And then, now this is my latest project. Oh, I was going to close that door to make it look better, but look what I did to that. Oh, and there's one of the other cats in there. Let's go over and I'll show you. This is my potting shed right next to the little greenhouse. And I planted this container thing. Isn't that pretty? This window box. There's no window there, but I did that one. And then around the back, this is my big wisteria, and I want a pergola to go on the back of this little shed so that the wisteria can tear it down in slow degrees. And then I also put this little planter back here on the side of the shed. Anyway, this is where I'm going to put a pergola, right in here, so that I can, and Liv can sit out, where is that? Sit out here with her friends, and I'm going to put lights around the top of it, and it's going to go right here. And there's the old greenhouse. Anyway, so one around here. Yeah, I think this looks really good. I just recently bought this cute little lantern. I left the tag on there because of the directions to make sure it works, so I'll have to cut those off. But it does. It's like a little solar lamp. And this is where the old garden used to be, the old vegetable garden. And, you know, it's pretty weedy, but it was big, and it was surrounded by old railroad ties that are all rotten now. So all of this is coming out because I asked Jim to make me a raised bed garden, and here it is. Look how big it is. It's like some kind of indoor or out, what are those called? Oh, above ground. It looks like an above ground swimming pool. But it's filled with topsoil and manure, and I've intensively planted it with everything. And I said to Jim the other day, it's not big enough. I thought he was going to have a fit because it was really expensive and very time consuming for him to make. But see, I've got my squashes and kale and all my herbs down there, and I planted some beets and carrots. And then I've got squashes, zucchinis, and crookneck, and onions along the back, and Swiss chard, and eggplant, and peppers, and what are those, cabbages, and tomatoes, and spinach, and cucumbers here on the end. I'm going to make some kind of trellis for it to grow on. But yeah, isn't this awesome? And it's got corrugated tin on the sides, and it's double-sided because Jim's putting insulation in between the two sides. So that's interesting. And so this old garden is going to be ripped out and planted back to grass, so that'll look a lot nicer. And then here's the chicken coop. This is a project for a friend of mine. He's going to redo it for me because I haven't had any chickens in there in a couple of years or so. And, you know, the wind has just done a number on it. So I'm going to have that fixed up so I can get some more chickens. And this was the peonies. You should have seen them. They were so beautiful for like about a week. They don't last very long with the rain and the wind and all, but they were really pretty. And I've got some on the table. They smell awesome. And here's the pond over here. I've recently, look at how the stuff has taken over. The comfrey took over that herb there, and these yellow irises, they're like pond water-loving things. And I planted the ferns and Solomon seal and hostas I chopped up. Oh, and look at the water lilies. Aren't they pretty? Oh, there's 3 of them. And this pond is so full of frogs, you have no idea. Ooh, I hear, here comes the rain. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna get wet. So, ooh. Okay, I'm gonna head for the shed. Okay. Oh, you. Ooh, those are big. Oh, damn it. Oh, come on, kitty. Let's go. My camera's getting all wet. Damn it all. Okay, I'm gonna shed. Oh. Ooh, wow. I guess I'll. No, you kitty. Oh gosh, I'm going to turn this off for now. Let's see, how do I do that? Okay, we're back. It's like being in Hawaii, Mom. You know how it would rain and then the sun would come out like 2 minutes later and it would be nice. So, yeah, I wanted to show you this garden over here before I walk over to the other barn. Oh, and there's my weeping cherry. It was lovely with its pretty weepy pink blossoms, but they're all done now. I can hear the frogs starting up. I mean, they just go at it all the time. Those are some kind of tree frogs. And there's my magnolia. It doesn't look very good this year, but it's got a lot of blooms on it now, I see. Anyway, there's this garden in here. It used to be so nice with all kinds of stuff, but the bindweed took over. But it still has hydrangea and some hellebores, some daylilies, more bishop's weed, some lilacs, This is a big lilac. But everything is so overgrown. And this big forsythia here, it's done blooming, but it was spectacular. Oh, and then we can come up here to this one. Now we're back at the front of the house. I'm going to just show you this garden. Now this is the bank and the berm that we made to shield our house from the noise of the road. But it's just got a bunch of weeds in it. But they're doing their job, so I'm leaving them. Okay, and here's this nice bed between these two trees out front with some irises. Oh, they were just spectacular. There was tulips in here and hyacinths and some heuchera I planted over there and more hostas and this yellow, some kind of poppy and Solomon seal. And lily of the valley. I'm surprised at myself. I can remember all these things like right off the top of my head. And these trees that I planted from little things lining this driveway have just grown by leaps and bounds this year. They're huge. I can hardly get around them with the lawnmower. But, yeah, and this is the driveway in, and there's my pile of mulch. I'm working on mulching, but it's been rough with the sciatica and all, but I think it's over now. Afraid to say, but I think it is. I wanted to show you, remember the Greek guy used to own all this property over here, Mom? Well, now we do. So I've got horses in this barn. This is the house barn, I call it. Jim has a number for it, but I never can remember them. So, and I moved my round pen over here for these guys. But, I've got a couple of planters out here too. So this is the other barn, and there were 12 stalls in here, but I made 2 of them into a big, oh God, it's starting to rain again, a big grooming area. And so, and this over here is Jim's man cave. It's another shop of his, and he goes in there to chill out, which is good. Anyway, see, I planted these. They're looking a little bedraggled from the rain, but they're quite nice, actually. I'm all about the petunias this year because there's a new variety called Super Tunia, I think it is. And it gets smaller petunias, but you don't have to deadhead them. Okay, so there's this barn in here, and I've got 2 of my horses and my Minnie. Yeah, that was her. So this is my horse Babe. This is Remy's mom and Connie's mom. And then Vegas. I still have Vague. Look around here, Vegas. And then these 3 down here are boarding horses. They belong to a Dr. Greg Grillo. He has this old horse Lamar and this horse Dolly and his young horse here. She was a Spitfire when she first came. She's going on 3, but she's much nicer now. Aren't you, Maddie? She's a good girl. And then out here, this was an indoor arena. I wanted it so bad, but it's full of Jim's equipment, and actually there's a bunch of hay in there we made the other day now. So Jim's going to make, a big building over here on the side of it so that he can store his equipment, and then I can have this back as an arena down here. Because, everybody wants to have an arena. That's why they pay me what they do. And then on the other side, there's the whole other stalls over here, and there's only one little Minnie, my little Minnie Marley, in here, because all this land over here, there's 15 acres altogether, is not fenced. And so, we just made hay off of that. It's got a couple of run-ins. We got to make this hay here. But if we fenced this, I could fill up all of these stalls. Another 5 more. And I have help now cleaning the stalls, so that's how I'm able to walk around today. Oh, they're actually in during the day in the summertime, because the flies get after them so bad. See, all these stalls are empty, except for, I did have them filled with 2 other horses, but they moved. There's Marley. Hi, Marmar. She's my little Minnie. She's our mascot. She's actually a pain in the butt, is what she is, but we love her. So, that's about that. And then, if you come out this door, see way down there, I don't know if you can see that or not from this, is my big indoor arena. What am I looking at? Oh, yeah, there it is. Oh, that's the run-in. Way back down there is on the other side of these fields is my indoor arena and the other barn where I have all the rest of the horses, the main portion. So, and here's the house from this angle. And there's that big curly willow tree. See that? I planted that from a little stick I had gotten from a florist in an arrangement that I had gotten. And I stuck it in the ground, and you know, willow just roots anywhere. And now I got this huge tree with all this curly willow. I can use it in things. I like it. It sheds, but I don't care. So, and there's the windmill. It always gets a bird on the top that sings and sings. I hear one, but I don't see it now. Anyway, so that's everything, and hopefully you enjoyed this. Oh, there's that little bed on the side of the garage too. I planted that. And I planted this and that and these plants around the windmill. But yeah, doesn't it look pretty? All right, well, I'm signing off. I'm going to go look at this and see if it's okay. And I'd turn it around and get a picture of myself, but I don't know how to do that on my camera. I can do it on my phone, but anyway, this is my residence. See ya. Okay, so I'm going to start this again. Now I'm down at the old barn, and it's quite busy down here today. All kinds of cars. Here's my sign. Let's go back over here, and I'll just quickly show you my new sign. Wild Ride Farm. Isn't that nice? I had that made. So everybody's here today, and the sun has come out. It's stopped raining. And these are my plants out front. Isn't that pretty? More bishop's weed. I'm telling you, that stuff is hardy as the dickens. And I'm going to come in here and some of my new boarders with their horses. And my favorite person, Alex. Yes, Alex, and I have a favor to ask you. So I'm going to turn this off now. Everybody's in here busy, and I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to pick it up again.
For what?
There's Joan, and there's Stacy,
What are we
and
doing?
Alex just went down. Now I'm just making a video for my mom of everything down here.
Hi, Mom.
And so we're going to go on out this door here. And now remember, we're at the old barn. And this is my wash stall, and there's Eva. She's a little fjord. Isn't she cute? And there's more stalls out here. And she's getting a bath. So this is the manure pile. We'll just quickly go over that. And see, this is the angle from the other direction. The barn that we were just at is down there with the house and everything. So, and then this is my big indoor. We're going to go in here. I know you've seen this before with different horses in it. No, oh, there's one horse. Oh, Lori's in here on her horse. So we'll just get a quick video of her. But see, this is the big indoor. It's 80 by 180. Okay. I'm going to zoom in on you. I'm making a video for my mother. So here we go. Oops. Oh, he's doing some maneuvers on Tito. How is he sound today?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's good.
Long enough to try to buck me off.
Ah.
Can transition, you know.
Well,
Wait a minute, is this for your farm video?
No, it's for my mom.
Oh.
You can say hi, Mom. This is Lori.
Hi, Mom, this is Lori. I love your daughter. She rocks.
Okay. Lori was the publisher of Practical Horseman, and that she brought me this lovely banner. Isn't it huge? Can you read what it says? Maybe if I get too close you can't. Anyway, it says Practical Horseman. It was for the Olympics in 1996. So, you know, we're all about the same age. Anyway, so that's this area. I'm going to stop that. Okay, I'm going to start this video again. We have Lori riding in here on Indy, and Alex is riding Opie. She's going to take some of these jumps. I thought you might enjoy seeing that. Let's see, I'll see if I can like zoom in on her. Alex does eventing with this horse, meaning she goes cross country and jumps over ditches and chicken coops and things like that. Whoa, I'm trying to get the hang of this in and out kind of a thing here. But he's a pretty nice horse. She's had him for a year now. She actually has 2 horses here. One of them's Mylena, her mare of, I don't know, 15 years or something. But she's has had a succession of injuries, so she's out of commission. But she just is here as a lawn ornament. But this is her new horse, Opie. Copeland's Prayer is his real name. He was a horse off of the track, off the racetrack. And he's good. He's been to a trainer for several years, and then she leased him for 6 months, and then she bought him. I'm going to turn it off for a second, and then I'll turn it back on when she gets to jumping. Okay, she's going to practice jumping some of these jumps. See if I can zero in on them. She's a good little jumper. There's a spider. Ah! Good grief. Sorry. The spider dangling from the camera. Okay, now she's going to do these 2 in and outs, perhaps. I'm not sure. Nope. Oh, yeah, she is. Damn, that spider was on my neck. Whee! Okay, excitement over.